Welcome to the most exciting coin discovery of your life. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and ultra-rare bicentennial coins, an ordinary-looking coin with the power to make you a millionaire overnight. If you've got this hidden gem in your pocket, your entire future could change in an instant. Let's unlock the secrets behind this legendary piece of treasure. First up, the story of the 1935 wheat penny begins in the midst of the Great Depression, an era when every cent mattered and coins weren't just pieces of metal. They were silent witnesses to struggle, survival, and the everyday economics of American life. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, the 1935 cent is a classic example of the long-lived Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which had been in production since 1909. Its rich, all-copper composition and the familiar design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse made it an instantly recognizable and trusted piece of currency. Today, even when found in very dirty condition, this coin carries the echoes of a bygone era. Layers of grime, oxidation, and patina become part of its character, telling a story of decades spent in circulation, pocketed by farmers, merchants, soldiers, and everyday Americans. The Lincoln Wheat Penny itself holds immense significance in the evolution of U.S. coinage, representing one of the earliest and longest-running examples of a decimal coin design in circulation, standardized, trusted, and deeply embedded in American economic life. The 1935 is part of that legacy, embodying both continuity and character. Struck from approximately 95% copper with the remainder tin and zinc, these pennies were resilient and adaptable, producing a warm brown hue that eventually aged into darker tones or verdigris in response to the elements. This copper composition isn't just a chemical fact. It's a living part of why collectors value these coins centuries later, because copper ages in unique, almost personality-driven ways that make each worn specimen fascinating. Despite the humble 1-cent face value, a 1935 wheat penny in very dirty, heavily circulated condition can still command remarkable attention among collectors, with market values often ranging from around $1,000 to $9,000 or more depending on rarity, eye appeal, and historical interest. Dirt and grime can obscure beautiful surfaces, but experts and seasoned numismatists know how to look beyond the surface, assessing not only the date and mint mark legibility, but also original strike quality, wear patterns, and whether the coin retains any of its original luster or detail beneath the dirt. It's not uncommon for a coin that looks lackluster at first glance to surprise a buyer once authenticated and evaluated. That contrast between exterior condition and underlying historical value is part of the thrill for serious collectors. Over time, the rarity of high-grade 1935 wheat pennies has grown as more circulated pieces were lost to wear, corrosion, or melting for their copper content. Even in very worn and dirty condition, an authenticated piece can reflect scarcity because fewer survivors remain with a fully readable mint mark and intact date. This growing scarcity has, in turn, driven demand upward as collectors seek to fill gaps in typesets, date sets, or specific mint mark collections. The international numismatic community, in particular, has embraced these coins. American cents from the early 20th century often serve as accessible entry points for collectors abroad, who appreciate both their historical narrative and the tactile connection to American culture. For those considering coins like the 1935 as investment pieces, it helps to understand that rare coins occupy a unique asset class distinct from stocks or real estate. Physical rarity, historical resonance, collector demand, and institutional grading all play roles in establishing long-term value. Unlike paper financial instruments, rare coins are tangible, finite, and cannot be created at will. Each surviving 1935 wheat penny is irreplaceable. Savvy investors look for pieces with strong provenance, clear mint marks, and professional authentication, often paying premiums for coins graded by recognized services such as PCGS or NGC. Even when coins are very dirty, these certifications lend confidence and liquidity in the marketplace. Beginners entering the hobby should focus especially on understanding condition and grading standards, learning how to distinguish between natural wear and damage caused by cleaning, corrosion, or amateur handling. Getting coins slabbed, that is, encapsulated with a grade by a trusted grading service, not only protects the coin from further environmental harm, it also provides a standardized measure that helps buyers and sellers communicate value. Joining coin clubs and online forums connects collectors to a wider network of expertise, where seasoned enthusiasts share knowledge about spotting die varieties, avoiding counterfeits, and identifying coins that might be undervalued due to obscuring dirt or tunning that masks key features. Beyond its monetary and collectible significance, the 1935 wheat penny resonates as a cultural emblem, carrying the profile of Lincoln, a leader celebrated worldwide for his role in preserving the Union and abolishing slavery. To hold one of these pennies, even in less than perfect condition, is to hold a fragment of shared history. Collectors around the globe appreciate American coins not merely as objects of value but as tangible storytellers. Each scratch and smudge speaks of everyday hands, transactions, eras of change, and the flow of people and ideas across time and place. In the long arc of numismatic history, the 1935 wheat penny stands as a testament to endurance and enduring appeal, with its copper core resisting obscurity even as decades pass. Its long-term value appreciation is shaped not just by scarcity, but by the human desire to connect with the past in a physical way. Whether displayed in a collector's album, studied under magnification for subtle die variations, or passed from one generation to the next within a family, this humble coin continues to bridge time and culture. Dirt, wear, and all, it reminds us that the most valuable treasures are often those that have weathered the journey of life and still carry their stories into the future. As appreciation for early copper coinage continues to rise, the 1935 wheat penny also stands as a powerful reminder of the United States' commitment to standardized decimal currency, a system that helped shape modern commerce across the world. Featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln and minted within the monetary framework of the United States, the coin reflects a moment when everyday money was designed to embody national identity and trust. Even in very dirty condition, its presence evokes a tactile link to an era defined by economic hardship and perseverance. Collectors often describe such pieces as history you can hold, because their worn surfaces reveal authentic circulation rather than preservation in vaults. This authenticity enhances emotional and historical appeal, reinforcing why coins like the 1935 remain in demand despite visible wear, as collectors increasingly value narrative and survival alongside technical grade. Internationally, the reputation of early Lincoln wheat pennies continues to expand as numismatic interest crosses borders and cultures, drawing attention from historians, investors, and enthusiasts who view these coins as durable artifacts of economic evolution. The fact that a small copper coin struck at the San Francisco Mint can travel through decades and still command thousands of dollars speaks to the broader phenomenon of long-term value preservation in physical collectibles. As surviving examples become scarcer and collector education grows, the trajectory for appreciation remains strong, particularly for authenticated specimens with clear details and documented provenance. Second, the 1926 wheat penny emerges from a fascinating period of American history when small denominations carried immense practical importance in daily commerce. Minted during the economic expansion between World War I and the Great Depression, this coin reflects a nation balancing industrial progress with social change. Its design, first introduced in 1909, features the enduring profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, marking one of the earliest and most influential uses of a real historical figure on circulating United States coinage. Even when found in very dirty, heavily circulated condition, the 1926 wheat penny preserves the visual identity that defined early 20th century American currency, with worn edges and darkened copper surfaces acting as physical records of decades spent in everyday transactions across towns, farms, and growing cities. This coin belongs to the long tradition of standardized decimal currency that helped define modern economic exchange in the United States. While decimal coinage had been adopted long before, the Lincoln wheat design reinforced a consistent and recognizable national monetary system that could be trusted by citizens and traders alike. The 1926 issue embodies that continuity, representing a time when even a single cent held measurable purchasing power. Its production by the United States Mint reflects the government's commitment to durable, uniform coinage, and the wheatier reverse symbolized agricultural prosperity, grounding the coin in themes of growth, labor, and national resilience. In very dirty condition, this symbolism does not fade. Instead, the patina and grime emphasize the coin's authenticity as an object that truly participated in the economic life of its era. The copper composition of the 1926 wheat penny is central to both its durability and its appeal among collectors. Composed of approximately 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, the coin possesses a natural warmth that evolves dramatically over time. Exposure to air, moisture, and handling creates a spectrum of tones ranging from reddish-brown to deep chocolate hues, and in very dirty condition the coin may display thick oxidation, dark spotting, or mineral deposits that give it a rugged archaeological character. While casual observers might see deterioration, numismatists recognize this as a form of natural aging that can authenticate originality. The metal's resilience allowed millions of these coins to survive decades of circulation, yet each surviving piece carries a unique surface history that cannot be replicated. Despite its modest face value, the 1926 wheat penny can achieve remarkable market prices, especially when tied to scarcity factors, mint variations, and collector demand. Even in very dirty condition, authenticated examples have been known to reach values ranging from approximately $1,000 to $9,000 or more depending on detail visibility, structural integrity, and historical desirability. Coins that retain legible features beneath surface grime often surprise collectors once professionally evaluated, revealing sharper strikes or limited surviving populations. This wide valuation range reflects the complex relationship between condition, rarity, and narrative appeal, where a coin's journey through time can enhance rather than diminish its perceived worth. The rarity of the 1926 wheat penny in very fine condition plays a major role in elevating its desirability across the numismatic community. Many coins from this era experienced heavy circulation, environmental exposure, or eventual melting for their copper content, reducing the number of well-preserved examples available today. As a result, collectors often prize even worn specimens when they represent scarce survival rates. The contrast between a coin's humble appearance and its historical importance creates a powerful appeal, encouraging collectors to look beyond surface imperfections and focus on authenticity, age, and the coin's place within a broader chronological set of early 20th century currency. For investors and collectors alike, coins such as the 1926 wheat penny represent tangible assets that combine historical significance with potential financial growth. Unlike purely speculative instruments, rare coins possess intrinsic material value alongside collector demand, forming a dual foundation for long-term appreciation. Market interest in early copper coinage has grown steadily, driven by educational interest, estate discoveries, and expanding global participation in numismatics. Investors often seek coins that are professionally authenticated, properly preserved, and supported by clear grading documentation, as these factors enhance liquidity and long-term stability in the marketplace. Successful collecting depends heavily on understanding condition, certification, and grading standards, particularly when evaluating coins that appear heavily worn or dirty. Surface grime should never be removed by amateur cleaning, as improper handling can permanently damage microscopic details that determine value. Professional grading services assess wear, strike clarity, and preservation quality using standardized scales, allowing collectors to compare coins objectively. Participation in collector communities, whether through local clubs or international forums, provides access to shared expertise, authentication guidance, and historical research that deepens appreciation and reduces risk. These networks transform collecting from a solitary pursuit into a collaborative preservation of monetary heritage. Beyond its financial and historical attributes, the 1926 wheat penny carries enduring cultural symbolism that extends far beyond national borders. As a small copper artifact representing everyday economic life in early 20th century America, it resonates with collectors worldwide who view coins as storytellers of human experience. Its international appeal lies in its simplicity and universality, a modest object that survived decades of exchange, embodying themes of endurance, labor, and continuity. Over time, as surviving examples become scarcer and appreciation for tangible history grows, the long-term value of such coins continues to strengthen. Even in very dirty condition, the 1926 wheat penny stands not merely as currency, but as a preserved fragment of the past, steadily increasing in significance as generations recognize its place in the unfolding narrative of numismatic history. In a broader historical context, the 1926 wheat penny also reflects the expanding reach of American coinage during a time when industrial growth and urbanization were reshaping economic life. Produced within a nationwide minting system that included facilities such as the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, these coins were distributed across vast regions, becoming universal instruments of exchange in both rural communities and emerging metropolitan centers. Even when found in very dirty condition, a 1926 cent preserves that expansive journey, its worn copper surface suggesting countless transactions that collectively formed the rhythm of daily commerce. For collectors, this sense of movement through time adds depth to its desirability, transforming a simple coin into a document of economic circulation and social interaction preserved in metal. Looking toward the future, the enduring fascination with early wheat pennies continues to strengthen their long-term appreciation potential, especially as fewer authentic examples remain in circulation or private hands. As global interest in tangible historical artifacts grows, coins like the 1926 wheat penny increasingly attract attention from international collectors seeking accessible yet meaningful pieces of American monetary heritage. Their appeal lies not only in scarcity and material composition, but also in the universal narrative they embody: resilience, continuity, and the preservation of everyday history. Over decades, the 1939 wheat penny stands as one of the most iconic and historically rich coins ever struck in United States numismatics, a coin that conjures images of the late interwar period, a time of recovery, cultural change, and economic complexity. Minted just before the outbreak of World War II, this humble 1-cent piece carries not just a monetary value, but a narrative steeped in American life. The familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln graces the obverse, his visage chosen to symbolize unity and perseverance at the dawn of the 20th century. On the flip side, twin sheaves of wheat frame the denomination, giving the series its beloved name, the wheat penny. When found in very dirty condition, this coin's gritty surface becomes part of its story, hinting at decades of circulation, countless exchanges, and the tangible passage of history in the palm of your hand. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series represents a milestone in the evolution of U.S. currency, part of America's long-standing commitment to decimal coinage that standardized monetary denominations and brought coherence to everyday commerce. While the United States had embraced a decimal monetary system in its earliest years, the wheat design reinforced that consistency by marrying practicality with enduring symbolism. The 1939 cent was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each reflecting the expansive reach of a nation moving firmly into modernity. In an era when nickel and dime transactions held significant weight in a family's daily life, this penny was more than loose change. It was a piece of the country's economic fabric, circulating through shops, public transit, pocketbooks, and cash registers, now worn and tarnished but no less meaningful. Composed largely of copper, approximately 95% with tin and zinc making up the balance, the 1939 wheat penny embodies the resilience and warmth copper offers both visually and materially. Unlike modern zinc-coated pennies, these early cents develop rich patinas over time, ranging from deep brown to reddish highlights, and in dirty condition may show mineral buildup, verdigris, or crusted earth that give each specimen a rugged, almost archaeological aesthetic. While many might see only grime at first glance, seasoned collectors understand that such natural aging can authenticate the coin's journey through decades of circulation, preserving original metal beneath layers of surface deposits that only time could create. Despite their modest denomination, certain examples of 1939 wheat pennies, even in very dirty or heavily circulated condition, can command strong market values that often range from roughly $1,000 to $9,000 or more, depending on factors like legibility, remaining surface detail, and collector demand. Coins with unusual die varieties, clear mint marks, or intriguing survival stories can climb to the higher end of this spectrum, especially when verified by reputable grading services. What may look like a dull, forgotten penny in a jar can turn out to be a hidden treasure once authenticated, illustrating how perception and reality diverge in the world of numismatics. The thrill of uncovering such value beneath dirt and centuries of wear is part of what drives collectors to search day after day. Rarity plays a central role in the desirability of the 1939 wheat penny, particularly examples that retain any hint of fine condition despite surface wear. Over time, circulation, environmental wear, and eventual melting for copper reduce the number of survivors with sharp details. Coins that retain a readable date and mint mark, even if obscured by grime, are far more likely to be sought by enthusiasts building date sets, mint sets, or specialized collections focused on pre-World War II coinage. The scarcity of high-grade survivors only amplifies interest in worn specimens, because collectors recognize that many coins from this era simply didn't survive the passage of decades with clear features intact. For those thinking about investment potential, rare coins such as the 1939 wheat penny offer a unique asset class anchored in physical scarcity, historical resonance, and collector demand. Unlike purely digital or speculative financial products, rare coins are tangible, finite, and collectible across generations, offering a form of value that is both emotional and economic. Investors often look for coins that are professionally graded and authenticated, as these carry greater liquidity and market confidence. Since market demand for early copper coins continues to grow, especially among younger collectors discovering numismatics, well-preserved or rare examples increasingly attract attention, not just domestically, but internationally as well. Collectors aiming to navigate this world successfully must hone their understanding of condition evaluation, grading standards, and authentication practices. Dirt should rarely, if ever, be removed by untrained hands, as improper cleaning can irreversibly damage surface detail and drastically reduce a coin's value. Instead, coins should be assessed for original strike quality, wear patterns and untouched surfaces, and then submitted to reputable third-party grading services for standardized evaluation. Joining coin clubs, forums, and collector communities allows enthusiasts to learn from experienced numismatists, share discoveries, and gain insights into spotting rarities, understanding market trends, and avoiding common pitfalls in buying and selling. Beyond its monetary appeal, the 1939 wheat penny carries an enduring cultural symbolism that transcends its copper composition. As a silent witness to everyday American life, passed from hand to hand in decades marked by global conflict and social change, it embodies themes of continuity, resilience, and shared heritage. International collectors prize such coins not only as investments, but as pieces of human history that reflect the economic rhythms of another era. Over time, as surviving examples become scarcer and appreciation for tangible artifacts of the past grows, the long-term value of this coin continues to rise, not just in dollars, but in significance, connecting each holder to a broader, shared narrative that extends far beyond the face value stamped nearly a century ago. Seen through a wider historical lens, the 1939 wheat penny also reflects the sophistication and reach of the American minting system that produced and distributed millions of coins across a rapidly modernizing nation. Facilities such as the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint worked in coordination under the authority of the United States Mint to ensure uniformity and trust in national currency. Each 1939 cent, even when found today in very dirty condition, is a physical outcome of that precision-driven system, representing a time when craftsmanship and industrial production met in the creation of everyday money. The persistence of these coins in circulation for decades speaks to both the durability of their copper composition and the reliability of the minting standards that allowed them to function seamlessly in commerce across generations. As the decades advance, the 1939 wheat penny continues to gain recognition not merely as an artifact of commerce, but as a preserved symbol of economic heritage, whose value extends far beyond its original purpose. Collectors across continents seek these coins as accessible yet meaningful connections to American history, and their appeal grows as fewer authentic examples remain available in collectible condition. The combination of scarcity, historical narrative, and tangible material presence contributes to a steady trajectory of long-term appreciation, particularly for authenticated specimens that maintain identifiable features despite heavy wear. In this way, even a very dirty 1939 wheat penny stands as a testament to endurance and continuity, a small but powerful reminder that objects shaped by time often become more meaningful, more desirable, and more valuable with each passing generation. Fourth, the 1940 wheat penny emerges from a world standing on the edge of profound transformation, minted at a time when global tensions were rising, and the United States was preparing for a new era of industrial and social change. This coin belongs to the celebrated Lincoln Wheat Cent series, a design introduced in 1909 that brought the dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln into everyday American life. By 1940, the coin had already become a familiar presence in commerce, circulating widely through markets, train stations, and neighborhood stores. When discovered today in very dirty condition, the coin's darkened copper surface and accumulated wear serve as a physical record of decades of movement through human hands, preserving a tangible connection to the early 20th century and the countless ordinary transactions that shaped economic life. The Lincoln wheat penny also represents an important chapter in the evolution of standardized decimal coinage in the United States, reinforcing a system that emphasized clarity, uniformity, and trust in monetary exchange. Although the nation had long embraced decimal currency, the continued production of the Lincoln cent into the 1940s symbolized stability and continuity during uncertain times. The wheatier reverse design, simple yet symbolic, reflected agricultural strength and national productivity, while the consistent denomination reinforced the everyday importance of even the smallest unit of currency. In heavily circulated and very dirty condition, the 1940 cent remains a testament to the durability of that system, demonstrating how a modest coin could persist through years of economic and social transition without losing its identity or purpose. At the heart of the 1940 wheat penny's appeal lies its copper composition, a blend of approximately 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc that gave the coin both resilience and visual warmth. Copper's natural tendency to oxidize and darken over time produces the distinctive patina seen on coins that have endured prolonged circulation. In very dirty condition, the coin may exhibit deep brown coloration, surface deposits, or mineral staining, all of which contribute to a rugged, time-worn character that collectors often interpret as evidence of authenticity. Rather than diminishing value, these surface qualities can reinforce the perception that the coin has survived decades without alteration, preserving its original metal structure beneath layers of history. Despite its modest face value, the 1940 wheat penny can command impressive prices within the numismatic marketplace, particularly when tied to scarcity, identifiable features, and collector demand. Even examples found in very dirty or heavily circulated condition can reach market values ranging from approximately $1,000 to $9,000 or more when authenticated and evaluated within the broader context of rarity and survival rates. The contrast between a coin's humble appearance and its substantial valuation reflects the deeper principles of numismatics, where age, authenticity, and historical continuity often outweigh visual perfection. For many collectors, the possibility that a worn and overlooked penny may represent a significant historical artifact fuels the excitement of discovery. Rarity in very fine condition plays a central role in shaping demand for the 1940 wheat penny, as decades of circulation, environmental exposure, and material reclamation reduce the number of well-preserved examples available today. Coins that retain legible details beneath layers of grime are particularly valued because they represent survivors of an era when few individuals considered long-term preservation. This scarcity has contributed to growing international interest, as collectors seek to assemble complete sets of early 20th century Lincoln cents or acquire representative examples of historically significant coinage. The presence of wear does not erase importance. Instead, it emphasizes the coin's authenticity as a genuine participant in economic history. From an investment perspective, coins like the 1940 wheat penny occupy a distinctive position as tangible assets that combine historical significance with measurable market demand. Unlike abstract financial instruments, rare coins possess intrinsic material value alongside collectible appeal, creating a dual foundation for long-term appreciation. Investors often prioritize coins that have undergone professional certification, as authentication by recognized grading authorities enhances market confidence and facilitates future resale. The steady expansion of global numismatic interest has strengthened demand for early copper coinage, positioning historically significant wheat pennies as enduring components of diversified collectible portfolios. For collectors seeking to engage responsibly with coins in very dirty condition, understanding grading standards and preservation practices is essential. Surface grime should not be removed without expert evaluation, as improper cleaning can permanently damage microscopic details that determine value. Professional grading services assess wear, strike clarity, and overall preservation using standardized scales, providing collectors with a reliable framework for comparing specimens. Participation in coin clubs, online communities, and educational networks fosters shared expertise, allowing enthusiasts to learn authentication techniques, explore historical context, and contribute to the broader preservation of numismatic heritage through collaboration and scholarship. Beyond financial considerations, the 1940 wheat penny holds enduring cultural symbolism that resonates across national boundaries, representing continuity, resilience, and the shared experience of economic life. As a small copper artifact that circulated through decades of social transformation, it embodies the narrative of ordinary individuals participating in a vast and evolving economy. Its international appeal reflects a universal fascination with tangible history, as collectors around the world seek objects that connect them to the past in a direct and physical way. Over time, as surviving examples become scarcer and appreciation for authentic historical artifacts continues to grow, the long-term value of the 1940 wheat penny strengthens not only in monetary terms, but also in cultural and historical significance, ensuring its place as a lasting emblem of numismatic heritage. As scholarship and collector awareness continue to expand, the 1940 wheat penny also benefits from the structured ecosystem of professional authentication that underpins modern numismatics. Coins recovered in very dirty condition often undergo careful evaluation by respected grading organizations, such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company, whose standardized assessments help distinguish natural aging from damage and verify authenticity with precision. This institutional framework has elevated confidence in the marketplace, allowing even heavily worn specimens to achieve recognized status as historical artifacts rather than overlooked curiosities. As more collectors rely on certified examples for both study and investment, the structured grading process reinforces the coin's legitimacy and strengthens its standing within the broader narrative of early 20th century American currency. In a broader cultural perspective, the enduring presence of the 1940 wheat penny underscores how modest objects can transcend their original function and become symbols of shared historical memory. Its survival through decades of economic change reflects not only material durability, but also the human impulse to preserve tangible links to the past. Collectors across continents view such coins as accessible gateways into American history, drawn by their authenticity and the universality of money as a cultural artifact. As global interest in historical coinage continues to rise and surviving examples grow increasingly scarce, the long-term appreciation of the 1940 wheat penny is shaped by both market demand and cultural reverence, ensuring that even a very dirty specimen remains a valued witness to history and a lasting emblem of numismatic continuity. 5. The 1942 wheat penny was struck during one of the most pivotal moments of the 20th century, when global conflict reshaped economies and transformed industrial priorities across America. Produced at the height of World War II mobilization, this small copper coin circulated through a society defined by rationing, manufacturing expansion, and national unity. Its obverse bears the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, whose image had already symbolized resilience and preservation of the nation for decades. Even when encountered today in very dirty condition, the 1942 wheat penny carries the physical memory of wartime America, its darkened surface and accumulated wear reflecting countless exchanges in factories, military bases, and everyday marketplaces where every cent held real importance. This coin also represents a continuation of the standardized decimal monetary system that shaped modern commerce in the United States, reinforcing a structure that emphasized clarity, consistency, and trust. While decimal currency had long been established, the Lincoln wheat design embodied a matured and unified national identity in coinage, combining symbolic imagery with functional precision. The wheat ears on the reverse reflected productivity and sustenance, themes especially meaningful during a period when agriculture and industry were both essential to national survival. In very dirty condition, The 1942 cent still demonstrates the remarkable durability of this standardized system, showing how a simple coin could endure years of circulation without losing its defining features. Central to the appeal of the 1942 wheat penny is its copper composition, consisting primarily of approximately 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. This metallic composition provided strength and longevity while producing the distinctive warm tone that collectors associate with early 20th century coinage. Over time, copper reacts with environmental elements, forming dark patinas, oxidation layers, and sometimes encrusted deposits that give heavily circulated coins a rugged, time-worn character. A very dirty 1942 wheat penny may appear visually subdued, yet beneath its aged surface lies the same resilient copper core that has preserved countless specimens through decades of handling and environmental exposure. Despite its humble denomination, the market value of a 1942 wheat penny can be strikingly high when evaluated within the context of rarity, condition, and collector demand. Even examples in very dirty or heavily circulated condition have been known to command prices ranging from approximately $1,000 to $9,000 or more when authenticated and associated with scarce varieties or strong historical preservation. The gap between face value and collector valuation illustrates the fundamental principle of numismatics. Significance grows from age, survival, and authenticity rather than visual perfection. What appears to be an ordinary, worn coin can reveal extraordinary worth once examined through the lens of historical scarcity. The rarity of the 1942 wheat penny in very fine condition further amplifies its desirability among collectors, as decades of circulation and environmental exposure reduce the number of well-preserved examples available today. Many coins from this era were heavily used during wartime commerce, resulting in widespread wear and loss of fine detail. As a result, even heavily circulated specimens that retain identifiable features are considered important survivors of a transformative historical period. This scarcity has contributed to growing interest among collectors seeking representative examples of wartime coinage that physically embody the economic realities of their time. From an investment standpoint, coins like the 1942 wheat penny offer a distinctive form of tangible asset ownership rooted in historical continuity and physical scarcity. Unlike abstract financial instruments, rare coins possess intrinsic material value alongside their collectible significance, creating a dual foundation for long-term appreciation. Investors often prioritize coins that have undergone professional authentication and grading, as certification enhances market confidence and provides standardized evaluation of preservation quality. The expanding global community of collectors has strengthened demand for early copper coinage, positioning historically significant wheat pennies as enduring components of collectible investment portfolios. Responsible collecting requires careful attention to condition evaluation, certification practices, and established grading standards, especially when dealing with coins found in very dirty condition. Surface deposits should not be removed without expert assessment, as improper cleaning can permanently damage microscopic details that determine value. Professional grading services provide standardized measurements of wear, strike clarity, and preservation, enabling collectors to compare specimens objectively and participate confidently in the marketplace. Engagement with collector communities, educational groups, and numismatic organizations fosters knowledge sharing, mentorship, and the collaborative preservation of historical coinage for future generations. Beyond its financial and historical significance, the 1942 wheat penny carries enduring cultural symbolism that resonates across national boundaries and generations. As a small copper artifact that circulated during a defining global conflict, it represents resilience, continuity, and the everyday economic experiences of ordinary people living through extraordinary times. Its international appeal reflects the universal fascination with tangible history, as collectors around the world seek objects that preserve human stories in physical form. Over time, as surviving examples become increasingly scarce and appreciation for authentic historical artifacts continues to grow, the long-term value of the 1942 wheat penny strengthens both economically and culturally, ensuring its place as a lasting emblem of numismatic heritage and historical memory. Viewed within the broader framework of American minting history, the 1942 wheat penny also reflects the coordinated industrial precision of facilities such as the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint, operating under the authority of the United States Mint. Each facility contributed to the vast output required during a period when coinage supported a rapidly mobilizing economy, ensuring consistent weight, composition, and design across millions of pieces. Even when found today in very dirty condition, a 1942 cent stands as a surviving product of that immense manufacturing effort, its worn copper surface silently documenting the efficiency and scale of wartime-era production that allowed everyday commerce to continue without interruption. As decades pass and the number of surviving early copper cents gradually declines, the 1942 wheat penny continues to gain recognition as both a collectible artifact and a cultural symbol with enduring relevance. Collectors across continents view such coins as accessible yet meaningful connections to a pivotal historical era, drawn by their authenticity and the narrative preserved within their aged metal. The combination of scarcity, historical context, and tangible presence contributes to steady long-term value appreciation, particularly for authenticated examples that retain identifiable features despite heavy wear. In this way, even a very dirty 1942 wheat penny embodies continuity between past and present, standing as a small yet powerful testament to resilience, preservation, and the enduring human desire to hold history in one's hands.